All praises to Yahweh, Ba'Hashem, Yahweh Shai.
All praises to Yahweh, Ba'Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'Hashem, Rakak, Dash. And today we're going to talk about something important. We're basically going to go into the Gentiles. We want to get Revelation 7, starting at 3.
This is Revelation 7 and 3. It says, saying, hurt not the earth, neither the sea, nor the trees, till we have sealed the servants of our power in their foreheads.
So, the servants of our power on their foreheads. Now, does that mean we're going to go around and stamp people on the forehead? No, but it means we're going to make an impression on them. It's talking about basically everybody in the world. This is when it's talking about everybody in the world. You got the etymology on there, on that word? Because basically we're out here to seal you, to seal the deal, as it were. And how we're going to seal the deal? We got to try to convince you, or maybe not just convince you, but to show you through knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, which is a blessing through Yahweh, Ba'Hashem, Yahweh Shai, that you are the Lord's chosen people. Now today we're going to do something spectacular. I mean, we're going to do it all the time because we're always out here preaching when we come out. But today, I'm going to target so-called white people. And I'm not going to target them as Edomites. We're going to actually see which one of them are Israelites.
So this is the etymology for the word world. It says in Old English Gospels, the commonest word for the physical world, which is rooted in Germanic cosmology, in the Greek cosmos, in its ecclesiastical sense of world of people.
Now, the world of people is the Israelites. Where every time it says that word cosmos, it's talking about Israelites. And when it says oinkomene, it's talking about the inhabited world. And when it says aeon, it's talking about a time in space, or a time in the world. So, go back to Revelation 7:34 with me, and read unto 4. Because what happens when something makes an impression in you? You start acting it out, right? So what happens when you learn how to walk? You started walking more and more. Well, we're trying to teach you how to walk to the Lord.
This is Revelation 7 and 3, saying, hurt not the earth, neither the sea, nor the trees, till we have sealed the servants of our power in their foreheads.
So how are we going to seal the servants? Well, there's a lot of people that call themselves Christians out here. That should be someone that would just be willing to jump into the truth, right? Because they're already serving the transliteration, which is not the same Lord. But we got to tell them, hey, you know, that the so-called, the person you call Jesus, his name is really Yahushai, and he's a dark-skinned man, which you would call a black man, and he only came for these people which are on the sign, the Israelites.
So it said, hurt not the earth, neither the sea, nor the trees, till we have sealed the servants of our power in their foreheads.
So that means that hold off on martial law, hold off on World War III, hold off on the chip. But there's a lot of bad things going on too. So what does that mean? That means it's going to get worse. it is gonna get worse. It's gonna get real bad. So these are the angels that the Lord's telling, hey, don't hurt them. So that, what does that mean? If you go to Isaiah 45:7, it tells you that the Lord created darkness and light, evil and good. He created everything.
So you want to try to be the one getting sealed and being one of the Most High serving. And in the next verse, Revelation 7:4, and I heard the number of them which were sealed. So this is how many are going to be sealed. And there were sealed 144,000 of all the tribes of the children of Israel.
144,000. So that means there's going to be 12,000 from each tribe. There's going to be 12,000 Judites, which are the so-called Negroes, 12,000 Benjamites, which are West Indians, 12,000 Levites, Haitians, all of us, 12,000 of all of us, which equals 144. And that's an equal distribution, man. And Lord willing, we're part of that number.
And it says, of all the tribes of the children of Israel. So it don't say all nations. So after these 144,000 get sealed, then that's when he's going to hurt the land, you know. So
Yeah.
what do you think is going to happen to the rest of the other nations?
And it needs to happen, man. It needs to happen quick. Because there's LGBTQTP, which they're trying to pansexual is a P, and they're trying to say everybody has rights to have sex with whatever they want. So that means that these pedophiles can come out and start having sex with children, and everybody has to accept it. That's sickness, man. But let's talk about some good news. There's a chance that one of these people out here could be an elect, the Lord's chosen people, or 1/3. That'll be pretty good, because now we're going to talk about what happened in Egypt. Those Israelites got sealed. They got sealed. Okay, I got Exodus 12. I'm going to start at 7. And they shall take the blood and strike it on 2 side posts and on the upper doorpost of the house wherein they shall eat it. And that eat it is talking about the Passover. Because that was the Passover in Egypt, when the Lord smote the firstborn of every Egyptian, the first of every livestock, the first child. Man. And that's gonna happen again. That's gonna happen again in these streets, man. In these streets right here, and it's gonna happen on Harrison 9th. You're gonna see all these streets covered with dead people, man. Oh man, you know what's terrible? These prisoners are gonna be let out. When martial law hits, these prisoners are gonna be the first to have a good time.
Because they're going to be presented with the chip. You know, they're going to, you know.
I didn't even think about that.
They're going to say, you know, do you want to go free?
Oh,
if you want to be free, you got to take the chip.
And all these people laughing at us, their wives are going to get raped. Their children are going to get raped. They're going to get raped. I hope it doesn't happen. I hope it doesn't. But guess what? It is. It is going to happen. So keep laughing. Everything's funny until 100,000 criminals come at you and start killing everybody. That's when the real fun starts, and the Lord's going to come back, and he's going to come back mad, because he sent his man of the Lord, which is us, 2 angels, to give you a message, and you're not even listening.
These people, they don't know what's going on, or they don't know what's going to happen, because the scriptures say that the children of Israel are destroyed for lack of knowledge.
Destroyed for lack of knowledge, man.
So I bet you none of these people haven't recently opened up a Bible.
I bet you they haven't ever done so in their life. Because they go to these buildings that they call a church. And the dude up there with that's called the pastor, he doesn't even read out of the Bible.
He will read the scripture, but then he'll talk for half an hour.
He'll talk for an hour and 45 minutes talking about pass the collation plate 4 or 5 times.
Yeah.
4 or 5 times. We don't need to ask you for nothing. All we ask you is to pay attention. This is serious, man. See, every time we come out here, I love to come out here. But why do you laugh at me? It must be funny. It must be real funny. You know what? I don't understand why you're laughing at me. I'm telling you that these bad things, an LGBTQTP means that teachers can have sex with your children. Imagine that a fucking faggot teacher, he's lusting over your child in class, he calls recess, and then he holds that kid and then fucking rapes him, and you can't do a goddamn thing about it. Which I made a video speaking on that, and it's called God Damn This Place, man. And I literally mean that shit.
Yeah, because God is going to damn this place. Because we're already at the end. The wickedness is already at the high, you know?
That bell's ringing. That bell's ringing. You see? Hey, that was spiritual. That was spiritual, man. You see how the spirit works? You don't know how the spirit works.
Actually, just right now, it just touched heaven right now, though.
Now, as soon as he said it, an angel went over there and fucking tapped that bell. Bing!
He went up the ladder to tell the Most High.
Oh, man. And you know what? For reals, though? For reals on the reals, we both have jobs. We both make a living.
We're both hard workers.
We're both hard workers, man. And this is even harder to do. But it's the best job, man. And I hate it when people laugh at me. I mean,
if you're gonna laugh, why not just come up and ask a question, or
might as well, because you're just gonna laugh and get condemned.
Because you already made a connection with us, you know.
And it's not a good one either, man. It's not a good one. Hey, you know what? Ever since we've been out here, the only people that have accepted this truth are bums.
Yeah, that's right.
Remember that Judite brother over there when we were on Harrison 8? Oh man, he was so happy to see us. Why can't you people be happy to see us? Because you're not sincere. You're not spiritual at all. Now let me continue in Exodus 12 and 8. And they shall eat the flesh in that night, roast with fire, and unleavened bread, and with bitter herbs they shall eat it. So we eat the Passover dinner with bitter herbs to let us know that we're living in bitterness. Oh shoot, you know what? The word America means bitter. Hey man, come on, Cletus. What you gonna do when all these prisoners? Oh, look at, and this is the real icing on the cake, man. When Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai releases that spirit of death and destruction, your own motherfucking neighbor that you have dinner with every night is gonna turn on you.
Yep. That's what it says too.
Yeah. Your neighbor is gonna turn on you.
Even these parents, they're gonna be eating their children. You know?
Speak on it, bro.
Because in the scripture it says that in the last days, they're gonna get so hungry that they're gonna be looking at their child like it's a piece of chicken, you know.
And that happens, bro.
Yeah.
That happens. That happens. You know, that happened in Jerusalem in 70 AD. They had a siege, and it happened plenty of times before. When Rome started destroying everything in Jerusalem, they basically starved the people out. Look, when you do that in war, it's only when there's martial law, it's to stop commerce, to stop business. If I have soldiers at every route and every street, every major street and intersection, there's going to be no traffic in that area. There's going to be no commodities, no delivery, fresh waters. Oh shit, man! If you never lived in outside of the United States, because I went to Mexico a few times, and I was lucky enough to be there when there was no electricity. In the ranch where I'm from, no electricity. They just barely got water. You still had to take a shit in the outhouse. Bad things are coming to you, Gentiles. let me get 9. Exodus 12 and 9. Eat not of it raw, nor sodden at all with water, but roast with fire his head with his legs, and with the pertinence thereof. So that's with everything, because you don't got time. Hey man, and that's spiritual because you're running out of time, Gentiles. All you Gentiles are running out of time. It's about time that you come up here and ask some questions. The first one being, what does this sign mean? That would be a good question. But instead you laugh. Man, go ahead.
I was going to say, this sign, it represents the 12 tribes of Israel, which is 12 nationalities. You know?
Hey, all these people are special, man. All of you. But not right now, because you guys are wicked.
Yeah, because none of you guys really know any of the commandments of the Lord. Because you guys think there's only 10 commandments.
There's 700 commandments in this Bible.
That's right.
And if you're Mexican, you're an Issacharite. The Lord's a black man. He came for you and only you, Israel.
But this is all the Israelites, but it got split into 2 nations because one of the group of people, they started doing idolatry towards the Most High. So when they got split into 2 nations, one of them was called the House of Judah, which was Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. And then the other nation got split up called the House of Israel, which was the other 9 nations.
Because it happened. It happened because the Northern Kingdom, pretty much like it is right now in the Roman Catholic system, pretty much like it is in the Christian church, they wanted to worship Semiramis, Bacchus, Dionysius, which is just a spirit of getting fucking drunk and partying all the time. And Jake likes to party all the time. This is Jeremiah 10 and 1. Hear ye the word which Yahweh Hashem Yahushai speaketh unto you, O house of Israel. Thus saith the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at them.
So it says the heathen. So if you're a heathen, that means anybody outside of these nationalities right here. So the heathen, they have their own customs. But the Israelites, they got their own customs, and that's the laws, statutes, and commandments that the Most High gave us in the scriptures. But
and the most mightiest one is what Yahushua said: love each other, feed my sheep. Let me start on what? Start at the top.
Yeah. Because when these 2 nations, they got split up, the Most High looked at them like they were heathens. So they were called Gentiles.
And that's when things started getting worse for Israel. And when I say Israel, I mean the Northern Kingdom, because technically Judah is the Southern Kingdom. And things got really bad for us. We lost our pigment. We lost who we were. I mean, basically everybody lost who they were. But man, you see right now, you see the Northern Kingdom wanting to be Uncle Toms. Pretty much everybody wants to be Uncle Tom. But right now, these are the hardcore Uncle Toms.
So an example of a main Gentile in the scripture was called Cornelius.
This is Acts 10, starting at verse 1. There was a certain man in Caesarea called Cornelius, a centurion of the band called the Italian band.
That's right, and it said the centurion. So when you look up that word centurion, it's a army, no, commander of an
100.
army of 100.
That's power right there.
You know, so he was a high-ranking officer in the Roman military.
You know what makes me think, really contemplate? Joseph is basically the leader of the northern kingdom, but his tribe got split up into both of his sons. Now, that's a good blessing, right? Because all throughout Israel's history, there can only be one blessing. One son can only get the blessing. Jacob and Esau, right? And then the 12 tribes, Judah got it. Judah got it for the southern kingdom, and Ephraim got it for the northern kingdom. But still, Ephraim is from the tribe of Joseph. Now, Joseph was a vizier. Basically, he was like a pharaoh in Egypt. Now, this centurion, this Roman officer, he was basically like that too. Man,
Yeah. So read that scripture again.
this is Acts 10, verse 1. There was a certain man in Caesarea called Cornelius, a centurion of the band called the Italian band.
So right there it says the Italian band. So people think that his nationality was Italian, right?
But he was born he was born in there. But guess what? He was boom. He was from the southern kingdom. Now he could have been from the other tribes because some of them stayed, but the majority was Judah, Benjamin, and Levi.
And so to know how he became a Gentile, if we could go a little further back when King Solomon, when he had the kingdom, after he went off, that's when the house of Judah and the house of Israel, they got split apart.
See, and that so-called white guys listening to Jake music. That's the spirit right there. 12 and 21. This is 1 Kings. Oops. 12, right? You said 12. Chapter 12, verse 21. And when Rehoboam was come to Jerusalem, he assembled all the house of Judah with the tribe of Benjamin and 180,000 chosen men. And there's that word chosen again. You can't get around that. You have to be chosen to be saved. All right. 180,000 chosen men, which were warriors, to fight against the house of Israel, to bring the kingdom again to Rehoboam, the son of Solomon. Now you see that?
So right there it said that they rounded up Benjamites and they went to go fight with the house of Israel, you know. So
Just to bring them back, but they were going to kill the wicked ones.
And then another one is 2 Chronicles 28 and 6.
Which chapter?
28 and 6.
All right. This is 2 Chronicles 28 and 6. For Pekah, the son of Remaliah, slew in Judah 120,000 in one day, were all valiant men, because they had forsaken the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, their power of their fathers. That's one.
Continue to verse 8.
And Zichri, a mighty man of Ephraim, man, there it goes again. A mighty man of Ephraim. Shoo. I'll keep talking about Joseph. All right, going back over here. Let's see. And Zichri, a mighty man of Ephraim, slew Maaseiah, the king's son, and Azrikam, the governor of the house, and Elkanah, that was next to the king. Damn. So this Ephraimite slew the tip-top warriors, man. You see, that shows you a lot right there. That shows you that Israel not only are well trained, but they're smart. See, you take out the head. You take out the power seats. Hey, and then you Edomites take all our technology. This is technology. Strategy is technology. Let me keep reading.
Yeah, next verse.
And the children of Israel carried away captive of their brethren 202,000 women, sons, and daughters, and took also away much spoil from them, and brought the spoil to Samaria.
So the Israelites said they carried away their own brethren, you know.
Shoot.
So
Hey,
at the time they were not dealing with each other.
and you know what that means? That means that when the time of Jacob's trouble comes, you're going to be at each other's necks. You 2/3 are going to be killing each other. And ultimately, the men of the Lord are going to be slaying you, cleansing you. Damn, man. So why you come out here and laugh?
This is a serious thing. It's not to be laughing about.
And that fucking dude had his whole family laughing. His whole family's gonna get fucked up. If he was such a tough guy, why didn't he come up here when I told him that his family was gonna get raped? And he was gonna get raped.
So he laughed at us, but you know what? In the end, we're gonna be laughing at him.
He who gets the last laugh laughs louder.
Yeah. Damn.
And that sounds cruel and everything, but that's just the way Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai rolls. Alright? Let me keep going.
Hosea 11:12. And then this is when the Most High casted out the house of Israel. It's Hosea 1:9. Then said the Most High, call his name Loami, for ye are not my people, and I will not be your power.
Yeah, in Chronicles.
11:2.
Oh, alright.
So right there he said, for ye are not my people. He was telling the house of Israel.
Let me start at 1, bro.
Okay.
This is Hosea 11:1. When Israel was a child, then I loved him and called my son out of Egypt. As they called them, so they went from them. They sacrificed unto Baalim and burnt incense to graven images.
So he said, out of Israel, you know, he called his son.
He called us out of Egypt. And we're in Egypt right now, man.
He called his son out of Egypt, but then he started worshiping, what was it, Baal?
Let's see. Baalim, which is it's just another fake god, man. It's probably, everybody has a fucking remix of some wicked demon.
Yeah.
But the important part, when Israel was a child, that means that when Israel was young,
Yeah.
with his father and his he was basically, we were all together as the 12 tribes. He loved us because we worshipped and followed the laws, man. And now we strayed so far away from them, he has no choice but to fucking kill us. And I'm gonna keep using hyperboles, all right? A hyperbole is when you exaggerate a word by using a curse word. You exaggerate a sentence. Let me keep going.
Yeah.
Verse 2. All right, hold on. As they called them, so they went from them. They sacrificed unto Baalim and burnt incense to the graven images. And you see that all the time in these churches. You're all worshiping the virgins of this and that, Ceramises, Tammuz. Man, you go to a church and you see that big cross. That's a Tia Tammuz.
That's the same thing as burning those incense, what did it say about the incense?
Burnt incense to graven images.
Oh yeah, burnt incense to graven images. It's the same thing.
And look at the fucking dumbest thing is graven images. That is a dumb idol, man. It's not gonna help you. Hey, but guess what, man? If you come back to your senses and you pray to Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai, prayers get answered that way, okay? And you gotta be meek, humble in spirit. I mean, you can't be no proud person. Ooh, let me get this is in Hosea 10:2. Their heart is divided. Now shall they be found faulty. He shall break down their altars. He shall spoil their images. And that's what we're going to do. That's what we're going to do every time we're out here. We're going to spoil those images. Like I said in that movie, Enter the Dragon. Remember that that Kung Fu master was telling Bruce Lee, remember, the enemy is only images. Well, I don't know what the hell he said, but
Yeah.
you know.
Because that's what he was doing. He was fighting that. It was like a demon in the dreams.
Or remember in that other movie, what's it called? Rise of the Dragon or something?
Oh yeah, Enter the Dragon.
Enter the Dragon, all right.
Yeah, he was fighting that thing in his dreams.
Hey, and that lets you know that he was an Israelite, man. Because it says, in the scripture says that although we fight not against flesh and bone, we're basically saying we're fighting against principalities and powers.
Because ultimately it's the angels on the left hand side who got you people blind.
And you know what's really funny? You don't believe that you're gonna get destroyed. But we got some history right here to back it up. This is 2 Kings.
They think America's gonna go on, you know.
Till a long time. And I'm gonna start at 9. Then the king sent unto him a captain of 50 with his 50, and he went up to him, and behold, he sat on the top of a hill, and he spake unto him, Thou man of Yahweh, the king hath said, Come down. So, first of all, if you think that you can have power over Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai, which this government does, you're fucking crazy. This is what's going to happen to you. And Elijah answered and said to the captain of 50, If I be a man of the Most High, then let fire come down from heaven and consume thee and thy 50. And there came down fire from heaven and consumed him and his 50.